Right now, the internet is freaking out about the petrodollar ending. Saudi Arabia stopped renewing some old agreement. Headlines everywhere are screaming, "Dollar collapse, end of American power, economic apocalypse." They're all wrong. The petrodollar isn't ending. Oil will keep trading in dollars for decades. But here's the thing everyone's missing. While you're distracted by that fake crisis, a real threat is quietly destroying dollar dominance. And it's way worse than anything the headlines are talking about. I'm going to show you exactly what's actually happening, why the panic is wrong, and what the real danger is that nobody's paying attention to. First, let me explain what people think is happening. The story goes like this. In 1974, the United States made a deal with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia would only sell oil in US dollars. In exchange, America would protect Saudi Arabia militarily. This created the petrodollar system. Here's why that mattered. If you're Japan and you want to buy oil from Saudi Arabia, you first have to get US dollars. So Japan sells cars to America, gets dollars, then uses those dollars to buy Saudi oil. This meant everyone needed dollars. The whole world had to buy dollars to buy oil. That gave America massive power. Now, in June 2024, Saudi Arabia supposedly ended that agreement. The internet exploded. The 50-year petrodollar system is dead. Dollar collapse is coming. America lost its power. Except, none of that is true. Let me show you why. Fact number 1. There was never a formal agreement that expired. The 1974 deal was more of a handshake understanding, not a treaty with an end date. Nothing officially ended in June 2024. Fact number 2. Saudi Arabia still sells almost all of its oil in dollars. Check their actual oil sales. Still dollars. Still today. What actually changed? Saudi Arabia announced they're willing to accept other currencies too. Yuan, euros, whatever. But willing to accept doesn't mean they're actually doing it in large amounts. Think of it like this. Your local store says, "We now accept Apple Pay in addition to cash." That doesn't mean cash is dead. It just means they're giving customers options. Fact number 3. Even if Saudi Arabia wanted to ditch the dollar completely, they can't. Here's why. Oil is a global market. The price is set globally in dollars. If Saudi Arabia sells oil to China for yuan, they then have to convert that yuan back to dollars to buy imports, to invest, to trade with the rest of the world. It's extra steps and extra costs. The dollar isn't the oil currency because of a 50-year-old agreement. It's the oil currency because it's the most liquid, most trusted, most widely accepted currency on Earth. So, the petrodollar isn't ending. That's the myth. But while everyone's panicking about a fake problem, the real problem is growing, and it's way more dangerous. Here's what's actually happening, and why it matters way more than Saudi oil sales. China buys about $400 billion worth of oil every single year. That's more than any country except the United States. And over the last 5 years, China has been quietly building a system to buy that oil without using dollars. They're not making a big announcement. They're not ending any deals. They're just slowly, steadily creating an alternative. Here's how it works. Step 1. China convinces Russia to sell oil for yuan. Russia agrees because they're cut off from dollars due to sanctions. Step 2. China convinces Iran to sell oil for yuan. Iran agrees because they're also sanctioned. Step 3. China offers Saudi Arabia, UAE, and other Middle Eastern countries a deal. Sell us oil for yuan. We'll buy more oil from you. We'll invest in your countries. We'll build your infrastructure. And slowly, it's working. As of 2024, about 15% of global oil trades now happen in yuan. That's up from almost zero in 2015. Now, 15% doesn't sound like much, but here's why it's devastating. Every year, about $3 trillion worth of oil gets traded globally. If 15% of that trades in yuan instead of dollars, that's $450 billion in dollar demand that just disappeared. Think about it. Countries used to need dollars to buy oil. Now they don't need as many. So what do? They buy fewer dollars. They hold fewer dollars. They invest less in dollar assets like US Treasury bonds. This isn't a sudden collapse, it's a slow leak. But slow leaks eventually sink ships. So why is China's quiet alternative worse than the petrodollar collapse everyone's screaming about? Reason 1, it's actually happening. The petrodollar end is a myth. China's yuan oil market is real and growing every month. Reason 2, it's not just oil. Once China proves the yuan works for oil, they expand it to everything else. Natural gas, metals, food, manufactured goods. The dollar gets cut out of more and more trades. Reason 3, it's irreversible. If Saudi Arabia ends the petrodollar, America could negotiate, pressure, offer deals. But China's system, it's already built, it's already working, it's already spreading. Here's a simple way to understand the difference. The fake crisis is like a store saying, "We might stop accepting cash." Scary headline, but nothing actually changes. The real crisis is like customers quietly switching to a different store. No announcement, no drama, just slowly, month by month, fewer people shopping at your store. By the time you notice, 30% of your customers are gone, and they're not coming back. That's what's happening to the dollar right now. And nobody's paying attention because they're too busy panicking about fake news. Okay, so China's building a yuan oil market. Why should you care? How does this affect your life? Here are 3 direct impacts. Impact 1, higher inflation. When countries need fewer dollars, those dollars come back to America. More dollars in America equals prices go up. Your groceries, your gas, your rent, everything costs more. This is already happening slowly. If it accelerates, inflation could jump from 3% to 6% or higher. Your savings lose value faster. Impact 2, government debt crisis. The US government owes $36 trillion. They pay for that by selling treasury bonds to other countries. But if other countries need fewer dollars, they buy fewer bonds. Fewer buyers means the government has to offer higher interest rates to attract buyers. Higher interest rates mean bigger debt payments. That means higher taxes or less government spending on things like schools, roads, and social programs. Impact 3, weaker dollar. As dollar demand drops, the dollar's value drops. That makes imports more expensive. Your iPhone costs more. Gas costs more. Anything made overseas costs more. On the flip side, American exports get cheaper, which helps manufacturers. But for most Americans, who buy more than they sell, it means lower living standards. Now, this isn't happening overnight. This is a 10-year, 20-year process. But it's happening now. And the direction is clear. The fake crisis gets clicks. The real crisis changes your life. So let's recap what we've learned. The petrodollar isn't ending. Saudi Arabia didn't kill it. Oil will keep trading in dollars for decades. That whole panic? Fake news designed for clicks. But while everyone's distracted by that fake crisis, China is building a real alternative. $450 billion in oil trades now bypass the dollar. That number's growing. And once it works for oil, it spreads to everything else. This is a slow-motion shift in global power, not a collapse, not a crash, just a steady erosion of dollar dominance that will reshape your economy over the next 20 years. Higher inflation, bigger debt problems, weaker purchasing power. Those are the real consequences. Here's my advice. Stop panicking about headlines. Start paying attention to what's actually happening. China's not announcing their strategy on Twitter. They're just quietly building it, trade by trade, deal by deal. And if you want to understand these systems, how money actually moves, how power actually shifts, how the real economy works beneath the headlines, that's exactly what this channel is about. Give your thoughts in comments and subscribe and like for more such upcoming videos.